Now let's talk about balance. While symmetry is a type of balance, it is perfect, it is unified, and all that. To some people, that could discourage creativity. It could really take away a lot from what they're doing. So another thing you can do is what I'm about to show you, which is use balance instead, opposed to symmetry, perfect symmetry. I like to use balance because of the creative aspects of it. You can change it up a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect left to right, and I think that's kind of neat. So we're going to start out the same way by doing this frame. So over here I incorporated the door. I already did that, offset that. So to balance that out, I'm going to incorporate some windows over here and some shrubbery. So I'll go ahead and give you a heads up on that. Since I incorporated the door there, which is like the main thing you might think of looking at the front of the first floor, I'm going to do something in the center here, like a nice window. I'm not going to count over the bricks, because maybe it'll end up off-center, which would be nice. Or maybe it'll end up perfectly in the center, which still works, and still goes perfectly with what I'm going to talk about. Over here, we're going to incorporate a sort of balcony over this area, and it's going to look good once I figure out exactly how I want to do it. Okay, I think I'm going to make that a turned one like that. I think we're going to get a little crazy with it, and make it a little larger. Why? Because we can. It'd be fun. So we're going to come out like this. Whoops. And kind of let it come around the corner of this build. So there we go. Which also means we're going to have another door. This one, to be different from the one below it, is going to use this corner here. Whoops. It's going to use the corner as its other post for the frame, other frame piece. So we're going to come over here, and we're not going to have a balcony because we're going to talk balance here. Instead, we're going to do something more like a small shrubbery type of thing that we did over on the other side. Incorporate some greenery, stuff like that. I think it'll look nice. Moving up to the top, I like towers, so I think to give this top corner some pizzazz, we're going to incorporate a tower right here. And to change it up again, I'm not going to put these outward facing blocks here. Outward facing blocks are more ornamental, I think, and the towers I kind of like to have a strength and a certain appeal. If you might, that might be the word, might not, I'm not sure. So yeah, so we're going to have a tower that's going to be the main feature, and then we're just going to have another small window over here to kind of balance it out. If I can get it going. So, now we got all that taken care of. I think the general layout is looking pretty good, actually. Come down to the bottom and start filling some stuff in. I'm going to do some of this. I like to incorporate a solid material for my base of all the buildings, be it wood or stone. It kind of enhances the realism, per se. Because if you think about it, all of these buildings must be fortified in some way, so the bottom has to have some strength to it. I like to incorporate the wool as more of an ornamental thing for like the second floor. So since this doesn't have to be symmetrical, I'm just going to kind of fake this wool. I'm not going to think out a pattern or anything, I'm just going to kind of do it, and I think it'll turn out Maybe this. I don't know. That doesn't look very good, attractive. How about that? Yeah, I like that more. Okay. Over here, we're going to incorporate a window. Small window, but a window. Actually, no we're not, because we don't have that post over here. So, no we're not. Sorry, window. You're not going to be there. Gonna come on up. Do this window differently than the one down there, because we do that. For my towers, as I said earlier, I like them to have a certain presence, a power, and for that, I am going to use some stone, which you might talk realistically, saying stone this high on a build might cause some structural issues or something like that, but I don't really care, so this is a creative video game and I want to have my fun, so hopefully you can deal with that. In the center here, well, I'm going to do this first because I don't want it to get in the way of what I do for the top floor center, so go ahead and do this window. I'm just gonna keep up the white wool, gray, light gray wool thing we have going by doing some of this. This kind of helps with the asymmetry of it all, gives it that diagonal instead of a straight up and down vertical axis. You know, it breaks it up. I like it. I'm gonna grab some fences and go back down to balcony area. Here. Throw some fences on this. One thing you might do for your balcony to make it more structurally sound is throw in a support like that. I don't think I'm going to. I might at the end of the video if I think about it, but I don't think I'm going to for now. So. Find some shrubs. I guess replace the wool. That'll be fine. And I'm gonna utilize these shrubs in taking up some negative space on the wall here. Hey, snow! Ah, yay. Sorry, had a moment. So I'm going to utilize some space here. That looks nice. That looks a lot better. See, it takes up that excessive amount of wood, makes it just look cleaner. Here I'm going to place a block and a door. There we go, taking care of that. That looks nice. And I'm gonna go up, finish off the roof here, the roofing on this window. Come over. I'm gonna place a brick here. Not like that. Place a brick here. Just like we did down on the bottom. Kinda basic, but I like it. One thing I decided to change was placing that brick right there, vertically, so it just adds some variance. By the way, if you haven't seen that video, that was my first tutorial. You might want to check it out. Cool. This is starting to really pop some, and I like it a lot more now. You can go ahead and add the tops to this tower, and I think I'll be done. As I was saying earlier, utilizing balance is something that's very important because it changes it up. If you only have symmetrical buildings, your world's going to get kind of boring. Plus, it makes you have to build in a patternized manner. I like symmetrical for my big builds because it gives them that imposing effect. It has some strength, some power, so I like to use that on my big builds like cathedrals and stuff. But I really like for the smaller builds, like just typical houses, to use this random asymmetrical look. It just makes it a lot nicer. So that's kind of what that tower looked like from the front. It's a little silly, but it looks a lot better when you put the whole tower in there. It'll look good. So I think that that is basically everything. But what I was talking about before is that it is important to utilize both of these techniques, because in doing that it changes it up. Symmetry versus asymmetry, or balance, is what I was calling it. Oh, I had a window up here. I guess that's important. Oh, if I don't throw it. But so it changes it up. Another way you can think of balance. Fly. There we go. Another way you can think of balance is to think of it like in a larger scale. This is very micro setting, but if you think of it in your whole city, if you're looking at like your entire cityscape, you might want to have balance between tall buildings, large buildings, the amount of flags you have, stuff like that. So that's something you can think about. Do you have all your cool stuff over here and then this part's kind of lame? Because that's the effect to give off to your audience. So that's something you can think about as well. Notice that this is pretty balanced. When I did this balcony over here, I came back and matched that with a smaller shrubbery area over here. When I put the window up here, I had the tower up here. With the shrubbery, this is pretty weighted down here, so adding the tower up here makes it really balanced. So this is a technique you can use, and I hope you will use. I hope you enjoyed this video, and that's basically going to be it. Please rate, comment, subscribe, like, all of that stuff. As always, I love your feedback, and I want to hear it. Thank you for watching. May you never walk alone.